LT leaves last night's game with a left leg injury, and it did not look good.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, along with Chris Golick. We come to you each and every day from Las Vegas. Again, thanks for making us your first listen every day. Our podcast free and available wherever you get your podcast. And again, I am at Tony Dasco. He is at TD Chris G. We are at Locked On VGK on Twitter and our YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. And we are brought to you by our new sponsor, FanDuel. FanDuel, if you sign up today at FanDuel.com/lockedon, you could place your first $5 bet and get $150 in free bets. And win or lose, you can win that bet at FanDuel.com/lockedon. Well, not great news, Chris, as we come to you this morning for the Vegas Golden Knights. It could be potentially a big loss for VGK coming out of last night's 5-1 win over Minnesota on the road, as the all-star goaltender Logan Thompson sustaining a injury last night, non-contact injury, left leg injury in the first minute of period number 3. And Chris, LT was moving around in the crease and slide to side, sliding around. Something gave out. And now I guess you have to look at the future and what VGK has down in Henderson on the AHL level. So who comes up from Henderson? Could this become a long-term injury? A lot of questions, as LT has an MRI scheduled for today.
So we got a few things happening. Bruce Cassidy did indicate that he was, LT that is, was up and moving around a little bit in the locker room after the game. Does that mean anything really? No, not much. I mean, you can have, let's just say what it is. Everyone's fearing an ACL tear. You can have an ACL tear and be able to walk around a little bit. You just can't do all the stuff that you do as an athlete. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, maybe it's a small, little tweak, worse than it is. Maybe we're talking a week to week, month to month thing. Hopefully it's on the shorter term. So here's the news that I'm looking for today. If they call Brossoit up immediately, there's probably a long-term injury. The best thing that I'm actually hoping for today is to hear that Patera was pulled up today. Yuri Patera from Henderson has a 2-way contract. They can bring him up and bring him down. If they bring Patera up and not Brossoit, that might mean this is a short-term injury that might be a few days. If Brossoit comes up, we know this is going to be a longer term. A couple other things to pay attention to. If we get a definitive outlook today, it's not good because those come out and say ACL tear. That's the one thing that they will not hide and just say it's a month-to-month injury. We'll see if he can. That's the one thing in hockey that they will not hide. If they give anything less than that, week to week, day to day, month to month, it's a little more unknown right now. So I think the best case scenario we can hear today, besides them coming out and saying the MRI was great, there's nothing wrong at all, which is not going to happen, I don't think. The best thing we can hope for is to hear Yuri Patera has been called up from Henderson. That's what I'm hoping for right now.
So Patera in 20 games this season has a 2.66 goals against average, record of 7-12, save percentage of .916, and Brossoit 8-11-3, 23 games, 2.72 goals against, and .909 is his save percentage. And as you mentioned, Brossoit, if they bring him up, he's there to stay, right? Because he was down in Henderson, or across the city, I should say, not down, but east of everything going on for VGK. Southeast of the VGK hinterland. If they bring him up, then they're going to have to keep him up because he does not have that 2-way contract, and he was there as kind of a conditioning for conditioning purposes. So that's something that's very interesting, and we'll keep an eye on that. And it's just really tough luck for the VGK, and watching that happen, and he had to be helped off the ice, and just seeing his left leg, he could not put any pressure on it and the way he was maneuvering just back and forth, it didn't look good. Okay. And so hopefully things are okay with him. Second win for VGK, Chris, after the break. Jack is back. Jack Eichel finally breaking through, first goal in 10 games. I think that was probably some of the best news last night. And Riley Smith also had a drought, I would think, of 12, 13 games.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and he scores on that penalty shot, which squirted through the flower.
Yeah, poor Flower. Not really, but it was a good game. I mean, it was everything that we needed to happen, and it's unfortunate that it took us 7 minutes into the podcast to start talking about how good of a game it was with what happened with LT and everything. But hey, I said 5-1, folks. I said 5-1. It was not a mirage. It was not a mirage. I called a 5-1 VGK winner, Tony. So how about that? But I didn't get the William Karlsson empty netter that I was hoping for. But on a serious note, they scored first. They won the second period. Ryan Reeves tried to get the team going. He got himself in the box. VGK capitalizes. There was nothing bad about the on-ice performance outside of the injury, of course. Everything was going well. Everything has been ticking since the long All-Star break. The dads being there, I'm sure, played a part, and I think
no.
Carrie Bubolt said he asked what the moms are doing next week already on Twitter. So, we're hey, they're 7-0-1, Tony. I don't care.
Come on, that angle is just okay.
Hey, it's a narrative, Tony. We love narratives here in Vegas. You know this.
Okay. So the defense, as Cassidy said after the game, Chris, got VGK out of the zone. So he felt very good about his defense. And again, they are at full strength defensively, but perhaps not without, might not have their goaltender, their number one. HSK, by the way, plays at home on Saturday night. So
I'll be there.
That also could be a barometer. Would they bring up that goalie today from Henderson, or do they wait till after the game? Obviously, officially, they might have to do it on Saturday.
Well, we'll know by Saturday, because you're not going to play Patera or Brossoit.
They're going to be the backup anyway,
to come play, to possibly play on Sunday. So we will know by probably this time tomorrow the initial path. And if we hear news today, it's probably not good news, right? If we hear that an injury updates, it's bad news if we get something right away. Hopefully, like I said, the hope is they call Patera up. And again, I'm not saying I want Patera over Brossoit. Brossoit is the goalie that's going to end up picking up the pieces if LT is gone. But if Patera comes up, that's actually the best news we can hope for right now.
Okay, so it's a very big weekend. And coming up next, we'll take a preview look at the game against the Anaheim Ducks. We'll also talk about a big trade that happened yesterday in the National Hockey League.
News everywhere.
Oh, my goodness. And also coming up later on, we've got What the Friday, big show planned ahead. Don't go. It's a super show. It's a super show today. That we
see what you did there.
Yeah, I did. I was trying a little trickery. We'll be back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Hey, Super Bowl weekend is here. And of course, the big game happens this Sunday, and it's going on in Phoenix. Currently, Philadelphia minus 1.5 points. The total points on the game is 50.5. And we are really excited about our new sports betting partner here at Locked On, because they are the number one sportsbook in America, FanDuel. And if you are new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have many great features. They've got a lot of prop bets I was looking through earlier this morning, all sorts of bets, and it's a lot of fun. New customers, if you join today, you can get started with $150 in free bets, guaranteed. That's right. When you place your first $5 bet, just sign up today at FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel has all of your favorite bets, from the money line to the point spreads to all those player props, as we mentioned. Plus, you can even combine your bets for a chance of a bigger payout with a same game parlay. It's all in the app. It's all safe. It's secure, super easy to use. So football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet, and you could win $150 in free bets, win or lose. FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Make every moment with FanDuel, the official partner of the National Football League, a good one. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick, coming to you from Las Vegas, the mecca of sports betting, and a very big weekend here ahead. So before we get into anything else here this morning, Chris, we have some props from around the city that include NHL games and a couple that will pertain to the Golden Knights game, the matinee against Anaheim on Sunday. So first, the VGK props that we found yesterday, you found. So Jack Eichel, shots on goal versus field goals made within the game. And both sides we found around the city are minus 115. This is so much fun.
I feel like that's the I don't see a lot of field goals on Sunday's game. I don't see if there's 3 or 4 field goals made by one team, that's the losing team of the Super Bowl on Sunday. So I'll take the Jack Eichel side. Give me his 4 to 5 shots I think he's going to get. And I feel pretty confident that'll wind up being the over on that one.
One of my favorite props of all time that I won on was back in the day, Shaquille O'Neal free throw percentage versus the total points in the game. And he made like 8 out of 10 free throws at the line in the matinee game there. So there are some fun ones around the city.
So let me give you a little story here. So a buddy of mine who used to be a little run some houses here in Vegas, I guess some sports books. We were at a buffet one day. We were just brainstorming prop bets. What type of prop bets? One of the prop bets that was born from that buffet over at I'm not gonna say, but one of the prop bets that was born was heights over under of the first person that's going to score a touchdown. And then it wound up being I don't know, someone real short with the New England Patriots. So the money was on the short dudes. That was the joke. But the other one that was born from that lunch was, will an extra points be missed? And then there was a separate bet. Will an extra point make contact with the uprights? And it was the Patriots-Falcons game, actually. Sure enough, I think it was the Patriots kicker that lines up, doink, right off the post. So at that moment, shout out to my buddy. His nickname, Frank the Clank, was born because that cost 6 figures.
We've got the Ducks Knights goals versus the total of quarterback sacks, and it's plus 1.5 sacks in the game, in the big game. And the Ducks Knights goals, the total is minus 145. Take back is plus 115. And then Mahomes touchdown passes versus Connor McDavid total points. And Mahomes touchdown passes minus 140.
It's gotta be, and it's gotta be 2.5 for Mahomes for the over under. It has to be. So is McDavid gonna get 3 points? Probably. I mean, why not? Why not?
I like Jack. I like Jack getting about 6 or 7 shots on goal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been a little more noticeable and active as of late, but shots that hit the post are not registered shots on goal, keep in mind. He's making that post right now. If the goalie makes contact or if the puck goes in the net, it's a shot on goal. If it's a shot that hits the post, it is not considered a shot on goal.
Oh, man. Technicalities. There was a big trade yesterday in the National Hockey League. As the Rangers, my Rangers, sending Sammy Blais draft picks for Vladimir Tarasenko. The Blues again with a big trade there. I feel as though the Rangers fleeced the Notes yesterday, and it's a half the salary deal for St. Louis for Tarasenko. A lot of folks thought that perhaps this is, I guess it's the biggest free agent trade.
Did you say Seattle retained some of the St. Louis retained some of the contracts?
50% fleece job. 50% fleece job.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that? So yeah, the Rangers definitely win that already. So, and then we have Tarasenko and Panarin reunited. Those guys are really good friends, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun there watching that transpire. And of course, VGK Nation, they started to complain. Why didn't the Golden Knights try to go after Tarasenko? But part of that deal were draft picks. And we talked about this on yesterday's show. There, VGK, everything, the barn is empty.
F those picks. F those picks.
I had to throw the barn in there because we had to get to that sooner or later this year. First reference to the barn. Anyway, so we've got the Ducks and VGK, a 12 o'clock noon matinee. And please, it's not WTF time yet. Please do not have this matinee next year, okay, when there's the big game right here in our city. Oh, we're going to play a noon game right down the street. There's Super Bowl going on. Nah, Not going to happen. But VGK has struggled, as we know, against divisional opponents. December the 28th, they lost again, swept by the Kings and the Ducks on that SoCal trip. Aiden Hill was pulled, if you remember, 2 goals on 5 shots, I think it was, right? 2 goals on 5 shots.
It was ugly.
Right.
He wasn't ready.
Yeah, Cassidy was miffed, said he was not ready. John Gibson stood on his head, 49 saves on 51 shots. Trevor Zegras had a couple of helpers. Troy Terry. They're both very good.
Zegras had the shootout winner, I believe, too. Just amazing.
Yeah, they're just too good, right?
He's like Patrick Kane. You're not going to stop him in a shootout. You're not.
So, again, part of the rigged schedule. VGK's got this time off, so LT can recoup. But the Ducks are in action tonight at home against Pittsburgh, and then they have to travel here. Come on, man. Okay, so how does this game shape up? Even though the Ducks are currently also Rans in the Pacific Division, and I think that there's only 2 other teams that have fewer points, Columbus and Chicago. And so do they show up for this game, though? Because they seem to want to play hard against the Golden Knights.
It's funny you mentioned. So I was looking at Anaheim's recent form, so to speak, see how they're doing. And they've actually won, I think, 4 out of 6 games. But they've beaten Columbus, Arizona, Colorado, give them credit for that one, of course. They beat Arizona again. And then they lost to Dallas. And then they come back the next night and beat Chicago. So sure, they're doing okay, but they're not really. They're just kind of bump slaying a little bit right now. The game I'll go back to is actually the last time the Ducks came to Vegas, and it was a matinee. It was 3 o'clock. Okay, it was a 3 o'clock start on Black Friday because the Silver Knights had an 11 a.m. game as well that same day. So I remember definitely having a WTF, like, why are we sending people across town on Black Friday? This is just nonsense. And we did it. We did both games, and it sucked. Just it was bad. My kid wasn't feeling well because it was too much, and whatever. I mean, we probably had McDonald's for breakfast and McDonald's for lunch. It might have had something to do with it too. But listen, I mean, the Golden Knights will be happy to be home. The post game pressers and all that's going to be fast. They're going to get the players in and out of there and whatever. Anaheim's probably going to shack up in a hotel somewhere and stay in town overnight and enjoy the game. So, Anaheim's mind might be elsewhere going into this game. Give us John Gibson and let's get another John Gibson vintage performance, right? He'll shut us down for about 35 minutes. And then in the last 5 minutes of the second, he'll give up 4 goals and life will be good.
Fans are wondering, but I just want to go back to that trade. But why didn't VGK get more involved or be in the mix for the Tarasenko trade?
Looking at the players, and this is a generalized statement right now, looking at the players that are left, this is the major league quote right now. Roger Dorn. I forgot about Dorn because he's I thought we didn't have any high-priced talent on this team. I forgot about Dorn because he's only high-priced. You look at the players that are out there right now, there's a lot of high-priced players that are getting paid for the player they were 2, 3, 4, and 5 years ago. They signed these Alex Pietrangelo type contracts and Mark Stone type contracts where you have, and William Karlsson contracts for lack of a better term, where they are getting paid for these remarkable seasons that they had. And now they're on the tail end of those contracts. So yes, a rental is exciting. And Tarasenko, is he at the top of the list? Is it Patrick Kane? Is it Dylan Larkin? Is it Bertuzzi and Klingberg? And we can go on and on and on. You look at all of their numbers, though. Their numbers are a shadow of what they've been. And also, these players have a commonality. They're on teams not performing well. So the hope is, for Tarasenko or for Kane or for Jonathan Taves or for whoever winds up getting shipped, when they go somewhere, they find the fountain of youth, so to speak. So credit Kelly McCrimmon, I guess, for waiting a little bit and waiting for the right situation. Could you imagine if they made a deal that included Brossoit being sent out like on Wednesday nights, and then this LT thing happens right now?
Oh,
I mean, so things happen for a reason that they're kind of strange, what and why and how the timing works out. Just maybe there's nothing happy about LT going down, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise. We haven't made a deal yet. Do we go after a goalie right now? I mean, I don't know. Like, there's so many questions right now. Personally, if LT is going to miss the rest of the season, and again, we don't know nothing at this point. If he's going to miss it, ride it out with Hill and Brossoit. That's why you have these two backup goaltenders in your organization. Give them a shot. Let's ride it out. And then let's see how the next 4 or 5 games go. And we'll make a decision as the trade deadline gets closer.
I say no way is San Jose going to send Timo Meier to Vegas. I say no way.
I hear what you're saying, trading within the division, rival. I get all of that.
Absolutely. No,
but if it's the best package, which I don't think it can be, but if it's the best package, I think you also do what's best for your team and put that nonsense aside too.
VGK has now 3 times this season scored 5 goals in back-to-back games, and they get out of the shoot.
Have they done it 3 games?
Have they? No. This could be 3.
Listen, there's a good chance of a nice little winning streak right now. I mean, minus the Aiden Hill situation, or minus the LT situation. San Jose is actually the next game on Thursday night, so maybe they can just tell Timo to pack his bags, just leave him.
Yeah, nice run. Could be a nice run for VGK. Real fast, let's get into predictions. And do you want to do locks of the night?
Let's do it all. And folks, also, I'm going to post something. We probably should have started the show with this, Tony. But I'm going to post a comment in our Twitter feed to give away 2 tickets for Sunday's matinee. Basically, we're going to tie it. If you're already a YouTube follower, that's fine. Just simply comment in the thread so we can get your name in the entry. If you are not a YouTube subscriber, please go and subscribe. And then on the official thread that I put up, please go on that thread and comment. I'll scrub that list and I'll post a video of us randoming who's going to wind up getting those tickets. Please only enter if you're going to be able to use those tickets, folks. I really want someone to be able to have that experience. If you already have tickets to the game, I kindly ask that you do subscribe, but maybe don't jump in the contest. Let's certainly give someone a chance who is unable to make games or make games on a regular basis. It's a decent pair of seats down in the upper half of the lower bowl in the corners. So look forward to having you. I'll be up. I'm not doing media for this one since my kids' hockey got moved around. So I'll be up in our season ticket seats, but maybe we'll meet up and have a water or something like that.
Okay. My prediction, 5-4 VGK, scored 5 goals again.
5-1. It's not a mirage, Tony. 5-1. Let's go.
I'm going to go 5-4, and then I'm going to go with Stevenson and Marchie, as we call him. It's almost time for March's O Madness. So
I like that. Stevie.
They stole that on Twitter back in the day in year number 1. I used to do this campaign. Marcia So Madness. Okay, who do you have? And then we'll get into WT.
Carrier and Wah. Let's keep going on that train. Carrier and Wah. I'm doubling down. I think I took him in the last game. I'm taking him again.
Okay, we'll return with more. What was your final score?
5-1. It's not a mirage. 5-1. It's not a mirage.
Jesus.
I'm riding that horse till it bucks me.
Okay, coming up next, it's that time. What the Friday WTF? Stay tuned. More after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. And please, if you have not done so yet, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. And also, if you are a follower, you've already subscribed on our YouTube channel, make sure that you make some sort of comment. Maybe my Max Headroom kind of, oh man.
Your video's working pretty good. Say that's WTF. People are confused by that.
Yeah, they are. And then just leave a comment, leave your name, drop your name in there. And Chris has taken his son to the game. And so maybe it's Dad's Day. You know, maybe a dad wants to take their kid to that game on Sunday at the barn. I just want to make a mention before we go into anything else in WTF. Very, very busy schedule for me this weekend. So tonight, Friday night here in Vegas.
Which club?
6 to 8 p.m. Club Dasco. No, 6 to 8 p.m. Virgin Hotel here in Las Vegas, live on KXNT. We'll have, again, a live remote broadcast there tonight. Tomorrow morning, my show, 98.5 HD2 in Las Vegas. Tomorrow night at Stadium Swim at Circa from 6 to 8 p.m. with Jeff Nathanson. He'll be with me most of the weekend. And then Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon live from Stadium Swim at the Circa Hotel Casino. It's going to be
sounds like a terrible time. Sounds like you're not going to have any fun at Stadium Swim. I can't believe that.
You just flipped me off, dude. I saw that. Caught up with a old friend, Icky Woods, yesterday. So that was a lot of fun.
Icky Woods?
Yeah, so Icky's taking, he's going to take Philadelphia in the game. Do you have a prediction on the game before we go into WTF?
I haven't looked too closely yet, but if you're giving me Mahomes with points, that's the hill I'm dying on. They've been there before. Andy Reid's been there before. The team's been there before. We got 2 weeks of a rehabbing ankle for Mahomes. I think they roll in this one. That's probably where I'm gonna put my money.
Okay, and all those shows that I mentioned are on the Odyssey app, and I'm saving my predictions till later. Just drama. I've got to have some build up this weekend. Okay, WTF? It's that time again. Okay, so again, the VGK schedule absolutely rigged. I have to say that consistently because the Wild comes out of the break and they have a back-to-back to start things off in the second half, and they lose at Dallas, and then of course they lose to the VGK last night. And what is it about the Golden Knights where they are here again every single stinking holiday? They are here in Vegas. That's not a coincidence. I'm sorry. This is a big weekend. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and they are going to be here in Las Vegas. It is so rigged. Hashtag WTF.
They weren't here on Groundhog Day. I guess they were here on Groundhog Day technically because it was.
Is that a holiday? Well, I don't know. Super Bowl Sunday. It's not officially a holiday, but it's a holiday. It's
they need to make Monday a holiday, give people a day off, or make it. Or do Super Bowl on Saturday. Do it on Saturday.
There you go. Okay.
All right. WTF Vegas Golden Knight fans. We beat Nashville. Yay. We beat Minnesota. Yay. This does not mean we're winning the Stanley Cup just yet. Relax. And again, this is not the LT situation withstanding right now. This is beforehand. We're all happy. This is exciting. We've missed this, but get back into reality here. Acknowledge what's happened in the middle, 25 or so games with injuries and with poor play. I'm not doing this to be a Tony Downer necessarily, but that's pretty good, Tony. You like that? I'm not doing this to be a Tony Downer here, but let's just acknowledge what has happened. We got a game against Anaheim. That better be a W. We got a game against San Jose. After that, that better be a W. We got Tampa Bay coming in the following Saturday. Now, all of a sudden, we got some real competition coming in, and the schedule is only going to get tougher and tougher the deeper we go. So, sure, we beat a couple of teams that are struggling, and Nashville not so much, but definitely Minnesota. Just relax, enjoy the games. But everyone on Twitter, hey, we're going to the Cup now. Everything is fixed. Everything is not fixed. We are trending the right direction right now. So, WTF Golden Knight fans, relax, be happy for what's happened, but don't get too excited just yet.
Okay, Kelly McCrimmon. I just think he needs to pull the trigger on a deal. I think the fans are just getting a little bit anxious here. I think that it's that
just got skirted though with LT though. It's all different now.
Yeah, it could be different. You're very, very right. And again, you combine that with a dad's trip. Come on, man, let that go. Dad's trips. They're undefeated, folks. They're undefeated. Everyone's talking about it. It's the narrative across the board. And LT is hurt on the ice. I don't care about Dad's weekend, whatever. Now the focus has to shift to LT. And what about the moms? You're absolutely right. WTF.
Well, there usually is a mom's trip too, so that's coming, but that's usually how it goes. All right, so let's go over some of our Twitter comments here. Las Vegas Sports Capital of the World, that pretty much sums it up. Well wishes to Thompson. Tony put out there, WTF, LT got injured, so that's what that response was. The Hockey Gay, WTF, are we going to do if doing
what?
If we doing has, it's got something to do with the goaltender here. And this isn't me drinking this morning. This is not the coffee. So
no.
We like Aiden Hill, but there's definitely a reason that LT is going to start more games. Maybe we'll get lucky like Pittsburgh did with Murray in 2017. That's actually the meat and bones of that comment right there. How did GMKM? This is from Rating VGK tweets. That's a priceless follow right there. How did GMKM not trade Tarasenko considering how small the return was? Yep.
Right.
Cup and Six now. This is another new name. Who is this? This is Matt Jacks, who's always changing it, of course.
Yeah.
WTF, when the blankety blank is Timo Meyer coming to Vegas. Okay. And then And then, okay, one more here, of course. This Tony will appreciate this one. RW, all caught up on episodes now. Thank you for that. First of all, RW, you guys mentioned the Foley ego. Seems like you believe he still cares. From the Milwaukee cheap seats, I like that too. He seems more detached and distracted with soccer. How much VGK passion and interest does he actually have? That's fair.
That's very, very fair because again, the folks over, the folks over in England, they keep saying to us, hey, I got a tweet earlier this week where someone had asked me, you said Bill Foley has never been this visible in Las Vegas. He's like, he's like the stinking Pope. He's up there like just waving to people up in the luxury box.
He's
But
the
he
Mirage
does-
right now. We haven't seen him in a while.
He is a mirage. He is. He's behind the curtain right now. But he's probably over there, merry old England, trying to solve things with the transfer window and all of that. And he needs to fire the coach. But that's another story. But the thing about it is that he's not that visible here in Las Vegas, and he should be. He was shaking hands with the fans. He's been on all the interviews. He's done the circuit. The only way, again, we get any contact with that front office for VGK is when they're on the radio up in Canada. And I say up there because McPhee always calls Las Vegas down there. So are you here or are you up in Canada looking down on us? WTF. I'm done.
I'll double down on your comment earlier about this matinee game. Mic drop. Don't do that, Tony. Your whole thing might come crashing down over there.
Very true. Very true.
Might get some dust from your fan also. So WTF Vegas Golden Knights for scheduling this matinee on Super Bowl Sunday with Tropicana happening and everything around there. Most of us will be able to get home by the time the Super Bowl starts and all of that, and it's fine. But why? Like, why do you need to rush this game? Was the NHL really that stacked where they said, hey, you're playing on Super Bowl Sunday, that's it? I don't know. I mean, maybe this is an NHL thing, so be it. But we knew this Tropicana thing was happening long in advance. And maybe there won't be much traffic around the Strip because it is Super Bowl Sunday. And this is a huge weekend as far as tourism goes. So maybe there won't be much traffic. But WTF for this little scheduling quandary. On the way home, we got to make enough time to stop by my buddy's place, Windy City Beefs and Pizza in Henderson, to get our little Super Bowl spread. And, so yeah, shout out to Tim, Windy City Beef Pizza.
All right. You have
get a deep dish on Sunday, folks. Get the deep dish.
All right. Have a super Sunday. I'm going to be out there making waves at Stadium Swim. That's pretty good, right? For my man, Chris.
I want to see a picture of you swimming in your Speedo on your floaty.
We're going to do it, man. I might have to send one to you.
Nice.
For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We thank you all for tuning in. Again, please subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, get some free tickets for Sunday, folks.
You could win that pair of tickets and catch up with my man, Chris Golick. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a super weekend here in Las Vegas. We'll see you again on Monday right here on Locked On Golden Knights.